Alright, hey everybody, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. Today what I want to focus on are updates. Now, I do a lot of experiments on this channel, and I also have been talking a lot about prepping for fall. It's time to do an update video on a few of the experiments, the status of a few things, and then my final preparations for fall. So, let's grow. Before we get into the video, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Just hit that little icon in the bottom right corner of the video. Also, go over to farmersdefense.com. If you're looking for anything gardening apparel, cooling sleeves, shirts, hats, straw hats, pruners, gardening aprons, you name it, they got it. At checkout, type in Backyard 10 and save 20%. Okay, so right off the bat, right here are the Single Seed Challenge 2022 plants. As massive as these tomato plants are, there's only 2 of them in here, but look at how much it's taken up. These 2 plants are all the way over to here, halfway on this raised bed. It is crazy, but these plants have done exactly what I thought they would do. Because if you all remember, I was hoping when the weather cooled down a little bit, they would start to grow again. They've started to grow again. And they're starting to put on flowers, but they're not putting on fruit. So I'm going to give these about another 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll make a decision at that point on whether it's time for them to come out. But right now, these 2 plants are doing great. If you all have not seen the videos for the Single Seed Challenge 2022 here on Down Home Backyard Gardening, I'll put a link to that playlist right here. Y'all remember in the second video for prepping for fall, I started planting seeds in cups to start getting ready. I wanted to have some good healthy starts. As soon as the weather dropped, you know, about another 10 degrees or so, I could stick them in the garden. Now I've got some failures and I have some good successes in this. All right, so as you can see, the tomato plants are doing great. I've already put more soil in each of the cups to give those little fibrous hairs life to create more roots, make the tomato plants a lot more viable once we put them in the garden. Now these are eggplants and they are taking off like really good. More tomatoes, and I don't remember what this one is. Oh, more pepper plants. So these are all a success. The cabbages are not. So it's still way too hot for me to have planted that cabbage or that cabbage. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the cabbages, later today, I'm going to replant cabbage seeds in each of those cups, and then I'm going to put them inside on the windowsill. That way they're going to get the sun that they need. They'll be in a temperature that's more viable for the cabbages to grow, and I should have success at that rate. But I thought, hey, let's sit them all outside together, and that was stupid, Chad. That was just stupid. It was too hot for the cabbages right now. So you live and learn, right? For the onions that I planted, my question was, which would grow better, in a container or in the ground? And honestly, they're both growing at the same rate. What I'm not having success on are one of the seed packets that I planted. Apparently all those seeds were duds, because there's no onions here and there's no onions on this side. But we've got onions right in here and right in here. Okay, so just in keeping it real, those onion seeds that I planted were about a year old. It might just simply be that the onion seeds were just too old, which is probably the case. But, you know, again, you live and learn and you roll with it. So, but right now, the onions are doing decent. I'm happy to see growth. I think once the weather cools down, they'll start growing a lot better. But we'll see. Okay, for the mothball water experiment. Now, as you can see in this question right here, I was asked whether or not the mothball water keeps bees away from pollinating the flowers. The answer to that question was, I have not seen any difference in the bees coming in to pollinate all these squash plants. But what I have not seen, and what I still right now have not seen, are any squash borer eggs. So the mothball water works, and I'm even going to show you the base of all these plants right now. Okay, so anyone who's grown squashes know that if you have any vine borer problems at all, the bottom of the squash plants will be just tore up. As you can see here in my garden, I do not have any of that going on. These are all very healthy plants. And you can see the mothball water right there. But there are no vine borer damage at all to any. Let's scoot down. To any of these plants at all. I mean, look at that. Look how healthy everything looks. As you can see, look at the health of these plants. I mean, look at that squash just hanging there. As I come around, you can see just how healthy these plants are. I mean, look at that. We got another one right here. We have another one right here. Just a very, very healthy squash bed. I could not be happier. And just as I'm walking around there, look at that. We got a ladybug in here doing its thing. We had a bumblebee over here. Bumblebees are right here. So what I have to say is that the mothball water works. I fully believe in this because I've seen it. I've had no issues anywhere that I put this mothball water at all. So I'm a big believer in this method, and I'm going to continue using it until it proves me wrong. But there's an update on that. Now, we got one more update, and this one is going to be a long one. The next update are going to be the okra plants. Now, you can see they're starting to fall over. Even though they're very well watered, they're still putting on lots of okra pods. And look at that. I have a pest that must die. If we look at these okra plants, we could really see just how much they're falling over. So that right there is an indication of when the plants are about done. So what I'm going to do, because it is time for them to come out, is we're going to go ahead and take them all out, harvest the last bit of okra pods off of these plants, and then that area right there will be ready for fall plants, which it's time. It is definitely time. All right, everyone, so there it is. Okras, for the most part, are going. Now, I'm leaving these in because they're still standing straight up. And as you can see, they're putting on really good okra pods still. And then these are all new okra plants right here, so I'm leaving those in. But all those other ones are now gone, which now opens all this area up and all that area right in there for fall plants. All right, everyone, so that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got inspired. Remember, if you're doing experiments, make sure you stay on top of your experiments. Now, one thing I have not mentioned in a while is journaling. If you don't journal and write down what's going on in your garden, you're gonna forget it. Because I know I have forgotten so much. So I've started journaling again. I'm not gonna lie, I slacked off for a while, but I'm getting back on it because it is important to remember what you've done at what time so you can look back and see what worked and what didn't work. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, share it, like it, and comment down below. And until next time, shine bright and harvest hard. Bye. Thing I forgot to share with everyone is these are the sweet potato plants that are about done. But I wanted to show this. Look at this vine. It goes up, back in there, up, and then down. Now, one surefire way to know when your sweet potatoes are done is when they start to flower. And look at how pretty that flower is. So, sweet potatoes are done. They'll be coming out very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. This should be an amazing harvest. At least I hope so.